So we have here 7 etiquettes for a successful marriage. These are etiquettes. I'm going to quickly go through them, inshallah. I think I could even finish at 9:30, or I can expound a little bit if you guys want. 9:30, Walid, you guys can leave. And the people who want to stay for 10 o'clock, inshallah, I'll explain. But in brief, those who want to leave in 9:30, I have all of this stuff here. The number 1. These are all the 7, and I'm going to talk about them in depth. If you want a successful nikah, a happy marriage, where both are, their needs are fulfilled, they're happy with one another, you should have these 7 in mind. There's much more, but these are really important. Number 1, taqwa. Nikah, everything in Islam, our lives are based off of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you don't have that foundation, nothing else is going to come right. If a man doesn't have taqwa, he will not care what he does to his wife. He doesn't care what she eats, how she is, are her rights fulfilled. He won't care. He will just want his own rights. And that's what we find common in the world today. No one is aware of Allah. Allah's watching me. Right? And that's why you and I sin. When we sin, we're not aware of Allah. Or we just don't care. It's one of the two. Right? You see something, you want to watch this thing, it's haram, and you still do it anyway. Either you're not aware that Allah is watching, or you just don't care, which is even more severe. I know Allah is watching, who cares? There's no taqwa then. But when we have taqwa, inshallah, something good can come out of that. Number 2, husnul khuluq, which is noble character. Beautifying ourselves with the character of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam will result in a very beautiful nikah. Number 3, appreciation, shukr. These are some traits that we talked about already. Number 4, rahmah, compassion. Number 5, tawasul, communication. Number 6, sadaqa, companionship, being friends. And number 7, tarkul jidal, giving up argumentation. So these are the 7 traits. Once we're done with this, we're done with this segment, inshallah. So we're going to talk about this. And then tomorrow, we'll have the whole time tomorrow, inshallah, talking about the prophetic model of how the ideal nikah would look like. Very practical. So I want you guys to, if you can, look over what we've done so far. There's a bunch of 7 stuff. And you guys remember there's the 7 things to look for in a spouse, 7 things that you should have. Now it's 7 things for couples. Look over them, and tomorrow when we look at the prophetic model, try to see how this comes into play. Practical examples. So number 1, taqwa and awareness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is source of everything, like I mentioned. You have this, you have dunya and akhirah. Not just in marriage, you have everything. You have taqwa, you have everything. That's all it is. And Ramadan is the time for taqwa. That is the time where you and I can develop this. Allah says, fasting has been prescribed to you in Surah Al-Baqarah, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, so that you can achieve taqwa. What is taqwa? Is the awareness of Allah. Allah is watching me. I'm afraid of letting him down. I don't want to sin because I know he's watching. This awareness, consciousness of Allah, that's taqwa. So here, Surah An-Nisa, verse 19, وَعَاشِرُوهُنَّ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ, and live with your spouses in kindness. And this stems from taqwa. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or rather Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, this is recorded by Imam Abu Dawud. This is a very nice hadith. I like this a lot. May Allah give us tawfiq to practice on this without getting hit. I'm talking about men getting hit from their wives. You'll see what I'm saying. May Allah's mercy enshroud the man who stands for prayer at night. He gets up for tahajjud. May Allah's mercy enshroud this man. He prays and then he wakes up his wife. If she refuses, he sprinkles her face with water. Well, may Allah have mercy on that couple. He's playful, he's jovial, he got up early, he's like, yeah, I'm doing tahajjud. She's sleeping today. Kindly, gently wakes her up. It's not talking about put a whole bucket and just pour it on her while she's sleeping. Nicely, gently. And then she says, and then she's like, sometimes you fall asleep after being gently awakened. And if she's like kind of deep in that sleep, he kind of sprinkles a little bit on her face. He says, may Allah's mercy enshroud that man. Not only for the man, may Allah's mercy enshroud the woman who stands for prayer at night. She prays and wakes her husband. If he refuses, she sprinkles his face with water. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala likes this beautiful atmosphere, and it allows you to do ibadah more. Notice that the focal point of the nikah is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it's like kind of a little competition too. Who's going to wake up early so they can sprinkle their spouse with water. So it's a very beautiful hadith, and it shows the relationship that they have. And the ideal relationship would be, if you've developed this friendship, they're not going to get angry. If you're not really cool with your spouse, then they're going to be pretty upset if you do that. Right? So you can't just do that right away if you're in bad terms with one another. Number 2, good character, noble character. This is the way of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. There's nothing more heavy on your scale of good deeds on Yawm al-Qiyamah than good character. Here's a hadith from Sunan al-Tirmidhi. The Muslim with the most complete iman is the one who has the best character. And the best of you is the one who is best to his wives. In another hadith, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam says that the best Muslim has the best character, and the best character is the one who shows that, who is best to his wives. So if you want to see if you have character or not, observe how you are with your wife. That is the determining factor. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Not how much charity you're giving, not how often you donate your time at the soup kitchen, or what you're doing at the masjid. It's how you treat your spouse. That is the measure, the yardstick. It's very unique. Because typically, or sometimes we find people who are very generous with their time and money and all this, but when it comes to their spouse, it's not the best situation. So in another hadith, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, I am the best to my spouses. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the best to his wives. Okay, so this is something that we should aim to achieve. Learn what is good character and try to get it. Number 3, appreciation. Right? We have to appreciate, and you can only appreciate when you notice. Notice what the person is doing. Now you know what the bare bones rights are. If someone is doing more than that, try to notice it. Try to look at this person and say that, hey, I noticed that you did that. You didn't have to do it. Thank you so much. There's a really nice story I want to share with you guys. A man came to Umar radiallahu anhu. Umar radiallahu anhu was a Khalifa at this time. So Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam passed, Abu Bakr passed away. He's the Khalifa. This person was having trouble with his spouse. He was arguing with his wife. So he's like, let me go talk to Umar. Of course, Umar, if there's one guy who has his wife in check, it's Umar. Go talk to Umar. And he's the Khalifa. So let's see what he has to say. So he knocks on the door of Umar radiallahu anhu, and inside he can hear some shouting. But it wasn't Umar radiallahu anhu. It was his wife shouting at him, yelling at him. And then the guy's like, whoa, I came to get advice about my spouse, and he's in a more difficult situation than I am. If this is his situation, then there's no hope. I'm on my way out. So he started walking away. Umar radiallahu anhu heard the knock, though. So he came out of his house. His wife was yelling at him. And so then he found the person. He's like, yeah, akhi, oh brother, like what happened? Did you need something? Can I serve you? And he was like, actually, I came for some marital advice, but I don't know anymore. And then I heard what was happening. Look at the words of Umar. This is so inspiring what Islam can do to a person. We know the temperament of Sayyidina Umar radiallahu anhu, how rough and tough he is known for his anger. But when Allah beautifies the heart of someone with iman, they'll say something like this. This is a statement that he responded to this person with. He says, indeed, I have tolerated her due to the numerous favors she does for me. She cooks food for me, bakes bread for me, washes my clothing, raises my children, whilst this is not compulsory upon her. Additionally, my heart feels tranquility with her instead of the impermissible. If she saves me from haram, I tolerate her because of that. So that whole image that you have of Umar, just like this ferocious person, he's not. He has iman, and he has the way of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And this person seeking marital advice absolutely got that from him. So he says to him, the person, he says, my wife's the same. And then he says, then treat her nice. What's the problem? She might say something, you might not like it, but does that make you forget everything that she's doing for you? Same thing for the sisters. The husband might say something sometimes, he might do something sometimes. Does that make it that he's not doing anything else? He's not providing, he's not there, he's not a father. So we need to appreciate our spouses and realize if we're really good at appreciating, that's when it'll show. Not the times when things going great. Oh, you're such a great person. Everyone can say that. When things are not going your way, and then you can say like, you're making me so upset right now, but you're an amazing person. Those who can say that, you're really appreciating. Another hadith, Allah does not look at mercy at the woman who does not appreciate her husband, when in reality she is not independent of him. Meaning a woman will not receive mercy from Allah if she is not showing appreciation for her husband. So you had the situation with Umar radiallahu anhu, husbands need to be appreciative of their wives. Then you have this hadith, wives need to be appreciative of their husbands, both ways. It's not like, okay, husbands only get appreciation and they're just sitting like a king. I need my foot massage, my pedicure, manicure, do this, do that. Make 2 braids for me. Some of the Sahaba, they had 2 braids. Aisha asked Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, this is the hadith I was referring to, which person holds the greatest right over a woman? He said her husband. She asked, which person holds the greatest right over a man? He said his mother. So it's different, right? So the mother has the greatest right for men, the husband has the greatest right for a woman, and then her mother, then her father. So appreciation, we need to learn how to appreciate both sides.